Hi guys, it's Arsh here, and in today's video I've got something really special for you. I've got an interview with a young gentleman called Craig Webb. We're going to follow on with the theme of Tales of the Tribe. So Craig came to me, I think it's tail end of October last year in 2021. And he came to me and says, Arsh, he goes, I've done some training with some other companies and I still can't seem to get deals. What's going on? Can you fine tune my approach? I was well, okay, this seems quite interesting. So I booked on a call with Craig, came and done a 1 hour call with me, and I instantly understood what the issue was. Now, Craig has an eye for a deal, but he just didn't really know how to put them together. And more importantly, he was losing a lot of deals because he was not saying the right things. And I think a lot of you watching this will make the same mistakes. So fast forward, Craig started deal sourcing after our call, and within 2 months has negotiated 20 deals. Out of those, we've got 10 which are now sold subject to contract, going through the property investor app. We've got another 5 which are negotiated, and we've got viewings going through. The other 5 are pretty new, so I'm hoping within the next week or so we'll be able to get something done on those. Now, if you work on what that's going to generate in fees for Craig, it's a life-changing amount. It's triple, should I say, the average annual income within the space of 2 months, and he's been only doing this for 2 months. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because lots of people are saying, can I get started in property with no property experience? Or if I'm just an average person just wanting to get started, can I do this? And I say that with respect, and the answer is yes. And I really hope that this video inspires you to get started, but more importantly, get in touch so that we can get you on your journey. Now, if you like the video, I need a small favor from you. Hit that like button, press the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so every time I release a video, you get to get notified of it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. So without further ado, let me introduce Craig Webb. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tales of the Tribe. And today I'm joined by good friend, Craig Webb. Hi, Craig. How are you?
Hi, Arsh. I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Craig, thanks for coming online. Now, I'm really excited by today's session because I've been really inspired by your journey and what you've achieved over the last couple of months. I'm hoping that everyone that watches this has the same aspiration and finds that, that they can do exactly what you've done.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but do you want to just introduce who is Craig Webb? Where are you from? What was your property journey before? What's been like the light bulb moments for you? And more importantly, has that now transpired into what you're doing now in property?
Yeah, of course. Well, obviously, my name's Craig. I'm based in Warsaw in the West Midlands. I previously, before property, worked, normal jobs, 9 to 5, worked shifts, etc. Always hated it, always wanted to get into something, property, something better. So a few years ago, I started learning about rent-to-rent, deal sourcing, watching YouTube videos, etc. I've done some rent-to-rent training, got a couple of rent-to-rent properties over the line, and then the COVID hit us and I started struggling to get the rents in. So as a result of the main lockdown, with my bad paying tenants, a little bit of probably lack of experience as well for myself, I ended up having to give those properties back to the agents that I was renting them from. And obviously the lockdown, then I just thought, well, I'm going to wait, ride it out. And I kind of lost my confidence a bit in property then, thinking, well, I've spent thousands and thousands of pounds on training and on this and on that, and I'm just out of pocket. So I kind of thought I'm going to leave that and started a couple of other businesses, but it was constantly still in the back of my mind thinking, well, I was watching a lot of your YouTube videos at the time about deal sourcing, and I was thinking, well, I've had a lot of deals. I've managed to negotiate them. Some of them I couldn't take on because I hadn't got the funds, or I just took other deals on. And then I was thinking, well, I wonder if, I could give you a call and maybe I could get some more deals. Maybe you could tell me what I've done wrong. So that's where it all started, really, with yourself.
So how that kind of worked is initially you booked almost like a consultation call.
Yes,
and then
yeah.
with almost like an hour session. And then off the back of that, it gave me a good idea as to what you're all about, who you are, what you were doing, and more importantly, what you were saying. Yeah. So that followed up into almost like a day in the office, didn't it?
Yes, it did, yeah.
Spent a day in the office with me. And then off the back of that, that's where I really got to understand what you were saying to agents and how they were taking you, and more importantly, what was your proposal? What was your offer that you're putting forward? And I always said to you from the outset, you know, because you've dealt with cars in the past, we just needed to, the biggest thing for me, for you, was trying to relate something around property and then almost take it back to the car industry, which is what you've been used to.
Yeah.
So, you know, why would that car trader want to deal with you? Or, you know, and that's, I felt like that was when you really found it. Was that, would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. It was about, I started to realise then that I'm actually offering these people a good deal, where before I felt like I was kind of asking them for a deal, if that makes sense. But I realised what value we're actually bringing to the table for them, to the agents, etc. You know, we can help them sell these properties. We've got, well, you've got the contacts, the investors in place, ready to buy them as long as it meets our requirements.
So once you understood that then, and you started speaking to the agents, you know, from a confidence point of view, how did that help you?
It helped me a lot, but I mean, the main confidence builder for me was when we came to your office and we went through a few things, and you know, you told me, you know, what we need to do, and it pretty much got me straight on the phone. You said, well, ring that up. I said, is this a deal? He says, it could be. Work the figures out. He says, call them. And I says, well, now? And he says, yeah, ring them now, and kind of made me do it. And at the time, I didn't really want to, but I didn't want to look like a chicken, so I thought, well, I've got to make the phone call now. And it was just one call after another, and I realised that these people just want to sell the properties, and we can offer them a deal. I'm happy to go ahead, and as long as we're honest and upfront and tell them that we're going to be presenting it to investors, it just, everything seemed to fall into place. It was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it is simple. But you've got to put the.
Did you find the flow chart that I created for you quite easy? Was that because what we did whilst you're here, we created a flow chart, didn't we? So it showed you every step of the way. This is this person. This is their role. This is this person, this is their role, this is this person. And then you could see the whole flow of the whole transaction, about the whole process.
Oh yeah, definitely. That definitely helped. I took a picture of that and saved it on my phone, but yeah, definitely. And the real light bulb moment was when I realised I'd came across a lot of deals in the past that I could have sold them, but I didn't take them on because they either didn't meet my requirements or I didn't quite have the funding in place at the time to take them on. I'd got other properties and realised I'd missed out on potentially thousands of pounds worth of deals that not only could I have helped the agents and built rapport with them, but also it was a good deal for somebody else to take on.
Yeah.
And then I realised then that I'm actually half decent at finding deals.
Well, I said to you from the moment that we spoke, the initial moment, I don't think the issue is that you can't find deals, because clearly you can, and we'll talk about the deals that you've done in a minute. It was just about kind of homing in on what your offering was.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what kind of stock and you don't know how to present yourself, then naturally that will have an effect on, you know, who you're speaking to and what they're going to offer you in effect.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay. So how long have you been doing it now? Is it 2 months or is it 2.5 months?
Oh gosh, I think it was early November when we spent a day in the office.
Just over 2 months.
Just over 2 months, and I actually went yesterday, believe it or not, I actually went to view my first property, and that's all.
Okay, that's interesting. So I'm just looking into my emails now. So between November and now, you have sent over 20 deals.
20, yes. Well,
the 21. Know that is because when Craig sends something over, he always puts deal number X. So yesterday, you actually sent me deal number 20. So what's this looking like? How many have we sold? We've got quite a few sold, haven't we?
Yes, we've got quite a few sold. And the last couple of days, the phone's gone crazy. I've got viewings booked. I've got offers that have been put in place. It's just gone crazy. I'm kind of losing track of it a little bit. But
Are you keeping up to date with that spreadsheet?
I am, but not 100%. You know what I'm like with technology, Arsh. But to be fair, I have to sit down now every day or two and go over everything, make sure I'm up to date with everything, because it's gone a lot better than I expected it to. I'm over the moon, to be honest. I'm really excited, but it's at the moment I've got the best part of probably 10 deals going through. You know, if in the pipeline with viewings, offers, I've got some that are probably close to completion now. Yeah, so it's just gone crazy.
Just work on that that alone, so you've presented 20. We've got 10 where offers going through and everything, and then the other 10 where we've got viewings and stuff happening. So even if the 10 go through, roughly on the average fee is roughly around 4 grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
4 grand. Let's work on 4 grand. So that's 40 grand's worth of income.
Yes.
And then because we do a 50-50 split, because you present them to mine, and let's be realistic with that.
Yeah.
It works for me because obviously Craig's finding deals for my investors. Works for Craig because Craig is finding deals and is not having to find investors or deal with investors. That's what the Property Investor app does for Craig.
Yes, and they even appraise the deal that I've sent over. Your assistant does a lot of, to and from phone calls with the investor and to myself. So it's 50-50 workload, really. They've definitely made the job a lot easier for myself because I just deal with the agent, or the vendor, make sure the figures stack and get that sent over to you. And then I just wait for a response from your end to arrange a viewing. And we just kind of go from there. It just seems to work.
It works really well. Not only that, my team pretty much speak to you pretty much daily from what I gather. And it's great because you keep sending in deals. And more importantly, you've kind of homed in on specific. So you're only really looking for ready-made stock, aren't you?
Yes.
About ready-made stock stuff that's already income producing. Naturally, I think you're looking for HMOs and you're looking for stuff with returns of over 20% plus, aren't you?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And it works well. I mean, we've sold a number for you now. We've got the rest. I'm hoping that we get offers on the rest of them as well. And then, what does 2022 look like for you?
For me, I've set a target of 50 deals. I want to sell 50 deals this year through yourself, obviously.
Well, that, believe it or not, that is actually achievable. If you look on your track record over the last 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very achievable for you.
Yeah.
And is it worth saying, Craig, that you've not put full time into this yet?
Definitely, yes, because I'm still buying and selling cars. I'm having to go to the auction, go to MOT stations, validators, etc. I'm buying and selling cars as well. Plus, I'm a single parent. I'm a full-time dad, so I have to look after my son. He has issues with anxiety and things, so I have to put a little bit of extra time into him. So I'm probably working a few hours a day finding these deals. Once you know where to look and what figures to look for, you can kind of spot them. Just flick through the pictures and think, yeah, that's a HMO. That's how much it is. That'll fetch it around this much. And then you start to do your due diligence. The calculator, that's brilliant as well. Put all the figures in.
So for those that don't know, I've gave Craig, as part of his training, a cash flow calculator that I created. And all Craig has to do is put in the purchase price and some rental figures, and it does the rest. How long does it take for you to put those figures in, Craig?
Oh gosh, less than a minute. 30 seconds maybe. I just put the price in, put the figures in, double check that I've put the prices in right, and it gives me what the cash flow is going to be, what the monthly costs, outgoings are going to be, utilities, etc., and then a return on investment. It even gives me a commercial valuation on them if it's a HMO property. So we can say which a lot of them, if you're buying it as a normal residential property, you can have it valued on a commercial, which makes it below market value as well as a
So
ROI.
These are all the things, these are all the angles that you look for. You know what, to be fair, I'm really glad that we've had this opportunity to speak, because we speak almost like you speak to my team every day. We get a chance to touch base every couple of weeks, but it's really good to see how it's, more important, it's gave you a new spring lease of life.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I'm loving it at the minute. I'm absolutely over the moon. I was talking to my dad yesterday, actually, and he says, how's the things going with the property? And he says, bloody hell, I don't expect you to do that well. I said, well, neither did I, to be honest. But there's still loads more deals that I've found that I've got to, appraise. And so I think potentially if I put the time in, I can find a deal a day, going through the methods that you've shown me. But I've also started doing, as well as that, a little bit of direct to vendor, rent to rent deals, because I just thought, why not carry on doing what I'm doing because it's working, and do that as well. I met up with a vendor yesterday in Warsaw. It's the first property I've viewed as well. I've not viewed any properties until now, and it was about 3 miles from where I live. And the reason I went to view it was because I want to build some rapport with him, because he's got another 7 HMOs which he'd be interested in doing a rent to rent on. He just wants the headache taken away. So potentially there'll be more deals through that as well.
And so just as a recap, and this is more so a test for you now, Craig, that if you don't take them on yourself, what are you going to do with them?
Oh yeah, I'll sell them through the app.
This was the issue that we had at the start, because you were literally saying, "Oh, I'm not so sure about that for myself," and you would almost like put it to one side, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd forget
Yeah.
about it, and you thought, "Yeah, okay, it's not for me." Boom. And I think
Yeah.
you've lost on well, when I say lost, you've passed up so much income or opportunity as a result of that. Now, my train of thought is that we monetize every lead. We should be able to monetize every lead, because just because it doesn't fit your criteria, it doesn't mean that it won't fit someone else's criteria.
Yes, definitely. I mean, with the rent to rent deals that I'm going to be working on now, I'm not going to be taking them on. I'm just going to be selling them for the time being, because this is what I enjoy doing. I like finding the deals. I like negotiating
Sorry,
with the
can I ask
agents.
you a quick question, Craig? How much money have you spent in marketing so far?
On all the deals that are on the app at the moment, nothing. Just I've done it off my laptop and off my phone.
So
And
how many letters have you wrote out?
I've sent out about 100 letters. I got the HMO lists for free from the ways we find the HMO registers, etc.
Yeah.
And I've sent out about 120 maybe letters. So it's cost me a few envelopes, a little bit of ink and some stamps, £100, let's say. But I've already pretty much got my first deal, so that's more than paid for itself. And potentially with this guy, he just wants the headache taken away. So if this one works and we can find him a good investor to take it on, he's happy to go ahead with the others as well.
Okay.
So
I'm really excited for you, mate. And more importantly, if I'm honest, I'm over the moon for you, because it's really good to see. From my point of view as a trainer, it's really good to see people excel, especially when they literally listen to what we've got to say. And more important, you followed it to a T. Some people will try, and I'll give them a proven system, and they'll try and tweak it, and sometimes those little tweaks kind of break it. I like to think that you've literally followed it to a T, and it's producing the results that it's producing.
Well, when we met, you pretty much told me, and that was one thing I liked about yourself. It's like you don't beat about the bush. It's like, this is what you need to do, and you've got to crack on and do it. So I just did it. I thought, well, this guy, he sells deals every day. He's actually doing what he's teaching, because there's a lot of people selling courses and they're not actually doing it, if that makes sense. And I just thought, well, I'll just do what he says, and that's pretty much what I've done, and it works.
So anyone watching this then, Craig, I suppose, what little golden nuggets can you give them? What little golden tips could you give them?
Firstly, I would say, if you want training, personally, I like working with you. So I would say find somebody who is actually practicing what they preach, like yourself. And secondly, I would say you've got to be prepared to be rejected as well. That was a big one. You've got to make the calls. You can't just think about it. You've got to do it. You've got to. I've learned little things as well from yourself. Like, for example, yesterday, your assistant called me up and I thought I'd lost on a deal because somebody had put an offer in and it was accepted. And she says, Arsh says, ring them back up and say this. And I did. And them getting back to me today on that. Well, that's potentially another $3,000 in the bank, and it's kind of, you've got to follow up on things. And I realised that there's another deal, the one we found when we was in your office. I think it's about a $10,000 fee on that one. It's a big deal. It had gone from Rightmove, and I thought, I'm going to ring the agent anyway, and I did, and it's still available, and they're getting back to me today, so hopefully we'll get a viewing on that one as well. So you've got to put yourself out there, you've got to follow up on things.
More importantly, it's really important for you especially to keep that spreadsheet up to date, because I noticed that you make a call about this property over here, make a call about this property over there, and I personally wouldn't be able to remember who did I speak to, what property was I spoken to, what offers have we made, and then all of a sudden it becomes a little bit mismatched. So if you've got a system in place, I think we've got that system in place that works for you.
And
then off the back of that, you can then, when you speak to this agent, you can say, oh, okay, or you speak to this person, you can say, oh, okay, yes, I look at my spreadsheet. Yeah, I remember I spoke to you on this day. It was about this property, and this is, what we spoke about. And then this is where you follow the conversation on from.
Yes, definitely.
I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to what 2022 brings for you.
Me too, Arsh. I'm absolutely buzzing. I mean, we're only in January and, we're already off to a flyer. So I'm just going to keep going now. Just keep trying to. It becomes addictive. I mean, I'll be sat down sometimes in the evening and think, I'm going to look at some properties, and I'm just flicking through Rightmove, and then I think, I'll save that one. I'll save that one. The next day, then I'll get on the phones, get the laptop out, and start making the calls.
You notice Craig has only actually mentioned one platform, whereas when we went through the training day, we actually went through
quite a few.
Best part of 10 So
Yeah.
he's actually only employing one strategy. You can imagine that if he now goes and employs, he's only doing 10% of what we said.
Yeah.
And you employ, let's say, another 20 or 30% of that, just think of the results.
Yeah, definitely. It's I mean, I can literally now find deals from anywhere. I could be on holiday, take my laptop, and I can find deals because I don't even go and view the deals most of the time. Well, 99.
Out of the 20 then, I suppose that's a very good point. Out of the 20 that you sent me, how many have you viewed? Because looking at the locations of them, we've got Hull, we've got Sunderland, we've got Stockton-on-Tees, we've got all over the place. So I don't think, other than the first one, which was in Warsaw, which was a portfolio, I think that was a portfolio memory. But other than that, all of them have all been further afield, all over the country. How many of those have you jumped in a car and gone and viewed?
None of them. Not one. The only viewing I've done is the one I did yesterday with the rent-to-rent property, and that was, I could have done that from home, but I wanted to go and meet the guy and build some rapport with him.
I'll tell you what, Craig, if they're a deal and you don't want to take them, I'll buy them off you.
Brilliant.
I'll buy them off you. If they're the right deal and they're in Warsaw and they're not a million miles away from here, I'll have a look at them.
Yeah, I've got hopefully quite a few coming, so yeah, brilliant.
But on that note, I want to say thank you very much for your time, Craig. Are you on socials or anything like that or no?
Facebook, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm just down as Craig Webb on Facebook.
Yeah. Anyone wants to reach out and have a quick chat with Craig, feel free to reach out to him, his social posts. So you can find him on Facebook under Craig Webb.
Yeah, if anybody wants to speak to me with regards to working with yourself, I'm more than happy to. I've had a good experience and I'm looking forward to the future of, and potentially when I move on to bigger things, hopefully you can guide me down that road as well. But for now, I'm just going to focus on doing these deals because it's working.
Craig, in the nicest possible way, with, I see lots of people that go off, start with what we're doing, then they go on to the bigger things. But this is bread and butter stock. Yeah, in the car world, you all start off with Fiestas and the smaller stock, which is stuff that will keep churning out. Then you start going on to the Lexuses, and then you start going on to the more expensive cars. And they're sometimes a little bit more difficult to sell. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You've got to have a real mixed variety. So don't ever forget the bread and butter.
Yes. Totally agree with you there, Arsh. Yeah.
So don't, I appreciate that some of the other strategies have got almost like a shiny penny and you think, okay, I can do a development deal there and that's going to make me this. But once you factor in the capital required, the time required, and then you think, well, in actual fact, all that time that I've put there, I could have done 10 deals over here. And I'll have to wait. And I'm not have to wait for all that money to come in off the development, etc. So, again, I'm just saying this to you for your own well-being, really. That concentrate on this. Let's get you immaculate and let's get you spot on with this. Let's get you churning those 50 deals that you want to do this year.
Yes.
You may not even want to look over there.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I think, like I say, I've set a target of 50 deals, so that's my focus now for this year, which I'm quite confident I can do it.
Brilliant. Well, Craig, as always, like I said to you at the start, really grateful, really thankful that you've come online. More importantly, really happy to see that it's going all in the right direction for you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
I wish you all the best for 2022.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much, Arsh, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
No worries. Take care, mate.
Brilliant. Thanks, Arsh. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
So there we have it, guys. I don't mind saying, but I find that really powerful. The fact that Craig started with 0 property experience and now got to 20 deals within the space of 2 months. When you calculate how much he's going to generate in fees and what his vision is for 2022, I'd like to say he's got a bright future. And if he continues what he's doing and he doesn't divert away from what he's doing, again, as I said in the video, it's bread and butter stock, then there's no reason why he can't become a real deal machine and a real force to reckon with in 2022. So if you like that, guys, and you're thinking, you know what, to be fair, I can do this, I just need some guidance, I just need someone to show me the way or show me what to say or tell me what to say or guide me along the way, that's what the Elite Property Tribe is all about. So if you want more information on it or you just want a conversation with me just so that we can see what the Elite Property Tribe can do for you or whether we can turn you into someone similar like to Craig, why don't you go to my website, and I'm going to try and put down here now my contact. So you go to arshilahi.com/contact And in there, I want you to leave your name, I want you to leave your phone number, and I want you to leave your email address. And I'll call you back myself and we'll start talking about who you are, what you're all about, what's your property experience, and more importantly, is this right for you? Can you become a deal machine? I won't beat around the bush. If I think you're right for it, I'll say, yeah, let's get started. If I don't think it's the right strategy for you, then equally, I'll be as truthful as I can with you. And that's not going to cost you anything. It's going to be a conversation. So what's stopping you? Go to arshilahi.com/contact now and fill out that form. So, as always, guys, I like putting out lots of free content. First of all, I've got a free podcast which I release every Tuesday at 6 a.m. It's called The Property Rebel. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, just to name a few of them. Go and have a quick listen. Again, it's 15 minutes of golden information. As well as that, you can connect with me on social media such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, just to name a few of them. I'm quite well connected across them all. And as you've probably heard throughout the interview, Craig has been selling his deals through the platform, the Property Investor app. So whether you're an investor looking to buy a deal, whether you're a deal sourcer looking to sell your deal, we can accommodate you on the Property Investor app. All you have to do is either go to our website, which is propertyinvestorapp.co.uk, or if you've got a smartphone, you can go to the App Store, type in Property Investor and download it. It takes 2 minutes to get involved, 2 minutes to download, register, and you'll see all the deals that we've got in the palm of your hand. If you're a deal sourcer and you want to upload one of your deals, we have the ability for you to sell your property on the app to our database of over 38,000 investors. So there we have it, guys. As always, I really hope that you found this video useful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thank you and bye-bye.